And the slideshow. So, my number one employee and my one employee is Michelle Zephyr, council member, specialist, realty specialist, and the like. Also, I do have an open position for administrative clerk if you want to join the duo at planning department. So, I will say that half my staff is also Hualapai. So. Let's go through the mission statement here. To serve the Hualapai people by developing the tribe's human, economic, and natural resources in ways that lead to greater self-sufficiency while protecting the people's unique heritage, culture, and environment. It's quite a balancing act at times. So let's go through our slideshow. We will begin with a discussion review of our planning department's programs with the home site and commercial leases. I'd like to introduce Michelle to give a little review for the home site lease part.
Bienvenida. Nachmiro Michelle Zephyr from the Hualapai Planning Department. Na Jetta Kanipowski, na Ichka. I hope I said that right. So I work with the planning department in May. It'll be 19 years. So I'm really proud of that. I work with the people a lot. I do home site leases, business leases, building permits. I coordinate all the environmental documentation for the tribe. We do all the permitting for the community. And I think, also I coordinate the IDT team, which is a NEPA team, and the Turk Commission as well. Oh, I almost forgot. I also do the Housing Improvement Program coordinator, and this is to help low-income, handicapped, disabled, and if you have a lot of dependents, those kind of individuals to either renovate or get a new house to be made. I usually submit in November and December of every year. So we've been really fortunate that BIA has funded at least one person in the last 2 years. So if you want to come down to the planning department, I can help you fill out the application and get all the documents ready and submit it for you so that we could submit everything in November and December.
Thank you, Michelle. Let's go on to our next slide here. A little bit on the NEPA process. That's a bureaucratic maze if you ever saw one. We basically have two types of development. We have a low-impact development permit. The vast majority of permits that come in last year, we had 55. About 53 of those were low-impact development. Basically, you're looking at putting a house on a piece of property for a home site lease, renovation work, no more than 20% expansion of current use on site. That's a typical low-impact development. The big boys are like a new park work, Veterans Memorial, that was also in 2024. Things like that require an environmental assessment. We've had our 34 CMGC moving forward team do a couple of EAs. New tribal admin building was done with an environmental assessment back in 24. Also, we did one for the bridge, grade separation over the train tracks with support from Dow and the like. So the bureaucratic process is typically about 10 days for a permit for low impact. EAs are about 90 days or more to get those permits through the process. Again, there's public meetings and the like to make those work. The next slide here is a current projects being worked on by the planning department. We still have our master plan. Tribal Council will be having a workshop on that this year. The Hualapai Route 66 Centennial Celebration Project began back in 24. Repair and future remodel of historic Osterman Shell gas station. That's the big boy on the block as we speak. Just had a public meeting on Wednesday for the use of that building going forward. Remodel expansion of Elderly Center with Hualapai Senior Center. Thank you, Brooke, for helping me and you work on this building to expand it for the senior services. And also analysis of the tribe's fee land in Truckee, California, 202 acres of land in Truckee, just west of Lake Tahoe. And also grants of easements for utility and rights-of-way. Let's go a few slides here. Again, here's our Hualapai Tribal Master Plan, a massive effort in 23 and 24. Tribal Council looked at it in a workshop in 25. It's so big we're going to come back and have a second workshop in 2026 and hopefully get it adopted. It's like a city's general plan or county plan. It covers the entire 9 million acres as well as trust land in Cholla Ranch and Valentine. Next slide is the effort today for the Route 66 Centennial. I was privileged to get a picture of like 1960 Hualapai Day in May. That's a May Day parade here at Peach Springs. Going through town, that says Hualapai Enterprises on that 1960 Chevy Apache pickup truck. We have a team here of very strong volunteers: Melissa Havitone, Marilyn Vaughn, Kayla Jackson, Mercedes Shola, Manny Huja, and Ron Feather Fox. Although Manny had to resign, he's now working with the court system. So thank you, Manny, for your service for about 16 months. The committee's mission is to find ways to celebrate and honor the historical route and create plans and implement projects to preserve, protect, and enhance the highway, including with recommendations on ways to attract tourists beyond 2026. I'm working hand in hand with John Wicks and Sashay Alvarez on the promotion of Peach Springs, and our big event Saturday was a testament to that work with this committee and GCRC to bring tourists, about 1,000 guys, to here on Saturday last week. And some of you noted the downtown walking tour for like 4 consecutive hours. So thank you for all that. Our next slide shows some of the projects in downtown. We're looking at improvements, including a walkway, the Sandra Yellowhawk walk from the park up to Indian Health Services, and possibly to juvenile detention. That's in conjunction with Darlene Walker-Gitta's team. Also, some way to improve the crosswalk safety, a hawk or a beacon at the intersection of Route 66 and Diamond Creek Road. People were jaywalking across with their strollers, with the chemical lime truck burying that one. So, also looking at doing commercial development in downtown. Once we move some of our buildings for the department and maybe game and fish, we can have that whole as a commercial block next to the market on the north side. I congratulate Ani Harari for his leadership on the Bennett Memorial for downtown. That was the focal point of our event on Saturday, and we have that as an improvement and hopefully the renaissance of downtown. And again, the old Oshman gas station is sitting there as well. That'd be really the old focal point and the new focal point of our efforts. A little more here in the graphic, we're looking at a community welcome sign in the park of some type. That's part of the bundle of projects by Public Works. And also the Sandra Yellowhawk Trail in phases on the right side. And in conjunction with Terra and Public Works, the 555 square foot restroom facility on the east side where the current porta potties are. So those are in the plan with the Centennial, the committee's effort as well. It's up for adoption by Tribal Council probably in May. A little more here, we're going to work on the old gas station, the old Chevron gas station, which is the next slide here. Try and bring this back as a commercial block. This is actually the oldest building in downtown that's still standing, about 1926. A little more on the Oshman gas station. Here we go, looking at the damage to the building back in 2021, microbursts tore off the roof, snow damage in 2023. Our architect had to really jump on that to make it a better design. We spent $653,000 mostly for grants from Freeport, National Park Service, State Park Service, National Trust for Historic Preservation. There's like 9 different grant funds into this project to save the building. People outside, they love this building in the outside world. Let's go a little bit more here. Speaking of which, ADOT just held a big presentation of the multi-purpose yesterday, looking for input on a final use for the building in 2027. You will see on my table a big image with a QR code. Survey is open until April 23rd. Please come by, take a picture of the QR code, and give your input. Auto repair shop, meet and greet, Hualapai entrepreneurial makerspace, whatever you're after, please give that input to ADOT. It's their show. And also helping Mr. Bender with his expansion to serve the seniors at the current senior center. looking at expanding the dining hall, the kitchen, and some storage areas. So that's my extra credit work for you. And last but not least is the Truckee property. 202 acres owned for 34 years, I believe, donated to the tribe back in 1992. Tribe tried 20 years ago to get something going. We're going to be meeting with the Truckee Town Council in May and talk to their planning department. So planner-to-planner discussions on what we can do on this property on I-80 next to Donner Pass, as in the Truckee Donner Party. So our goal is to do some kind of a viable use that honors Hualapai tradition and values. So that's our wrap up there. Also, I'm helping the Tribal Utility Authority on a power line, goes back to Aaron Forest. That's how long this power line has been talked about. 36 miles, Dolan Springs Substation on Pierce Ferry, all the way up to Grand Canyon West. Also, I've helped with the solar array and the like. So I'm going to, I guess, segue here. We're going to move over to the Tribal Utility Authority, hopefully in a few minutes here. And Mr. Roger Wright, our acting general manager and sole employee of the H2A, can give his presentation. Thank you much.
Woohoo!
Good afternoon. I'm supposed to be here. There we go. Since nobody here, well, a few of you, know anything about me, I thought I'd start with a little bit of an introduction. My name is Roger Wright, as Kevin mentioned. I got my start in this business in 1980 with a degree in electrical and electronics engineering, and spent the first half of my life designing missiles. I went to work for the DoD until peace broke out when the USSR collapsed. Had to tool around doing some other things for a little while, but pretty soon I picked up a position as engineering manager at the Aha Macau Power Service, which is the equivalent of HTUA for the Fort Mojave Indian Tribe. I retired from there in 2016 and took up gunsmithing, just as a hobby. When I got a call from my old boss at AMPS, asking me if I'd come out here and help him build HTUA. Yeah, it's kind of hard to give up retirement, but he was a good guy to work for, and I fully believe in the dream. So I am here, and we're going to make this happen. For those that don't know, haven't been following, HTUA was created in 2014 by a council ordinance. It was created as an independent tribal entity to be able to act independent of the council for financing and things like that. One of the complications of trying to borrow money from the government is they want to be sure you're going to pay it back. So they want somebody that is a rate-setting organization that can't be overruled. That's not the case yet. We're not there. So we are operating currently as a department and are looking to expand. We have 4 current board members and 1 opening on our board. Joe Montana is our chairman.
Woo.
We have Alana Keller-Robinette as a secretary, Jason Davis, who is the GM out at Grand Canyon West. He is our treasurer, and Rory Mahenty, who manages the maintenance department out at Grand Canyon West. And we currently have, as I said, a single opening. The big projects we've been looking at. There's long been a desire to have a reliable landline, a connection to the outside world. At Grand Canyon West, they're an island, and they're operating a very expensive program, about $1 million a year to operate diesel generators. This transmission line would free them from that cost, though we would still have to purchase power. In 2023, we completed an 840 kilowatt solar generating station with a 2 megawatt hour battery. And that has been extremely successful until it failed. No, I've already covered all that. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. This shows a bit of what the solar array was capable of doing for the 9 months that it was fully operational. It provided just about half of the total energy requirements of Grand Canyon West, and that frees up about $500,000 a year in fuel and maintenance expenses that could be used for other things. including supporting HDUA. The power line project, that has actually come along nicely. This month, I'm expecting to get the final design drawings, and we have been and are still looking for some source of funding. Our hired engineering firm estimates that the current cost would be about $30 million to build the whole thing. Those kind of grants have kind of gone away with this current administration. We just don't see them, though we are still applying for small ones. Here we go. Moving forward on this, we've got to get us some employees. One of the biggest problems we're having is within the Hualapai community. We don't have alignment. Someone who's qualified to work with 21,000 volt circuits. We're going to have to train those internally. So I've been working with the Fort Mojave tribe and the Ahamaka Power Service to work out some kind of arrangement whereby we can hire some Hualapais interested in that work and then send them down there. We'll pay them, but get the Fort Mojave people to train them. See, when you hire somebody new into the mine business, they have to spend 4 years working under direct supervision of a journeyman before they're allowed to do anything at all themselves. And they can't even consider, even under supervision, working on anything hot. That's a very common practice in this business. So we're proceeding down that course. Another point, I think I skipped over there, must have missed it. When this transformer system, the failure we had out there at the solar yard, it burned up, and the builder for us found a new manufacturer and bought us a new one. It has just arrived in the last couple of weeks, but the contractor has declared bankruptcy. So now we're going out for bid. In fact, I'm trying to get a sole source for the guy that originally put it in to get that site fully up and operational again and eliminate those generators once again. That is where we're going. If you have any questions today, come on over to the table and we'll talk. If you have some other ideas later, I put my email address up here. You're welcome to write to me anytime and we can get together and talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Roger. Kevin's back again. I have 2 questions that came into the table to ask. First question is, have you discussed, at least considered, a moratorium on new home site leases? This would be basically in the grazing districts, probably district number 2. So that's a big political question, probably requires a council workshop to consider a moratorium on home site leases, mainly district 2. Also